Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 6th edition of the Global Investment Convention. My name is Peter Eisenschmidt. I am with Hannoverimpuls, the economic development agency of the city and region of Hannover in Germany. I would like to thank the organizers of this event, of this Global Investment Convention, the wonderful people at Crescendo for organizing this event and for having us here to give us the opportunity to talk to you about Hannover, about your plans to expand into the German market, and of course how we could support you doing this, choosing Hannover as your new location in Germany. Hannover is very happy to be the capital of the federal state of Niedersachsen or Lower Saxony, which is not only an important business location in Germany, but also the most beautiful state in Germany. For numbers of reasons, and we invite you to come to us, to visit us, probably during one of the trade fairs, which I will share, which I introduce later on, and get convinced about the opportunities you have here. Before we go into the details, unfortunately, we need to talk about a very serious issue. Right now, for the first time since the end of the Second World War, we here in Europe, we have a major war in Europe, a major crisis in Europe. With the war in Ukraine, everything will change. A lot of things are already changing, and this will see major disruptions in global business, global trade, policies which are being totally changed right now, for example, in the energy sectors. We will see a lot of changes. Changes means opportunities, but at this point, let's not talk about business, let's talk about values. We here in Germany, we in Europe, we were reassured by the recent events, by this war, how important our values are. Values like freedom, individuality, freedom to speech, liberty. Those are our values, and we are very proud about them. And we have a responsibility to defend these values. And those values have also major influences, major impacts on business. And I would like to tell you, to show you an event which took place 150 plus years ago in the then Kingdom of Hannover. In that time, the King of Hannover decided to erase the constitution of the time and wanted to go back to this kind of absolutism. And in this time, 7 professors of the university here in the Kingdom of Hannover, 7 famous professors, wrote an open letter to the king opposed to these plans, and by that induced outrage within the people in the Kingdom of Hanover, protests, which at the end led to the result that the king had to withdraw his plans and had to reinstall the constitution. A memorial in memory of those events is today in the front of the parliament of the federal state of Niedersachsen, remembering the members of parliament how important those values are. And of course, this introduced a tradition here in Hanover of liberty, of freedom to speech, and we live this tradition still on, of course. 2 of those professors became later very famous, the brother Grimm. They were professors here in the Kingdom of Hanover. Later they became then very famous for writing down all the German fairy tales, and you probably have read a lot of those fairy tales, either when you were a kid or today when you're reading those stories to your kids or grandkids, probably in the evening before they go to bed, or you watch the movies. But the message here behind this is not only the importance about those values, but there's also another message. It's about individuality leads to creativity, and creativity is the motor of innovation. And there's another story I would like to share you that took place here in our region, which shows how creativity had a major influence on the whole industry. This gentleman was a trade partner of Volkswagen in the Netherlands, and he visited the Volkswagen company, the Volkswagen headquarters, which is close to Hannover, and he had an idea, and he made a quick sketch in his notebook, and this notebook is today in the Volkswagen Museum. And here he had this quick idea about a new concept for a car, and the engineers looked at this and they were convinced, and based on that, they developed the Volkswagen bus. The bus, which is later became an iconic car for for liberty, for freedom, when the hippies discovered this car, which offered them so much mobility to live their lives at the beaches. This car became an icon, and it's not only about looking into the past, about creative, smart people with great ideas that had so much impact on societies. It's also to look into the future. Innovation is not only the tradition, it's good to have this tradition, but innovation is also looking into the future, going on here again, reflected by the Volkswagen bus, which we'll see is latest, the newest generation very soon, being 100% electric vehicle, and by that also representing a transition we see in the automotive industry, which is so important for Germany, for the world, but also especially here for our region, with many players, of course, like Volkswagen, but also others like Continental, as we will see very soon. We are proud today that our region, the greater region here around Hannover, is the number one region in Europe with regards to R&D investments. This is connected, of course, to the big companies like Volkswagen, like Continental. There are a lot of smaller hidden champions or semi-hidden champions like Sennheiser, world-famous brand for acoustics, for microphones, for headphones, being headquartered here in the Hannover region, doing a lot of innovation in that field, but is also connected to a large number of national and international research institutes in different areas. Like, for example, the Helmholtz Institute for Infectious Diseases. In times of Corona, this institute, which is a national research institute here in Germany, became extremely important. Other topics are like the German agency for aerospace, or the production center Hannover, a very international leading research institutes in the field of production engineering. The Laser Center Hannover, comparable to the production center, with a focus on laser technologies, especially laser technologies in the field of applications in production, like laser cutting, laser welding. Other areas are in the area of rubber. We have Continental, but also we have the German Research Institute for rubber. The German Metrology Institute is headquartered not far away from Hannover. A lot of R&D happening here, a lot of innovation happening here, and a lot of industry emerging around those innovation and those industries in the time of globalization. Even in the situation we are right now, is looking for opportunities to collaborate with international partners. I would like to share some of the important industries here in our region. I've mentioned automotive, it's a big one. Volkswagen, Continental, Watco, Komatsu, Johnson Controls. But it's also then around them a lot of suppliers with hundreds of suppliers, but also engineering solutions, which in total 100,000 up to 200,000 jobs being connected to this industry. This industry, automotive, is facing a lot of transitions right now. Not only the transition from combustion-based engines to electric drives, electric engines, but of course also the whole new idea of mobility concepts. how to use mobility, how to enjoy mobility. There is a lot of change right now taking place in that field. A lot of those changes are connected to digitalization, are connected to software solutions, and there is an extremely high demand for software engineering solutions in that field. Very close connected to automotive is industrial engineering. I had mentioned the research institutes in that field, and of course, with all the major manufacturing taking place here, there's a lot of needs in robotics, in automation, in digitalization of automation, Industry 4.0. This term was first introduced during one of the Hannover fairs many years ago here in Hannover, here in Germany. The digitalization of automation, but also totally new automotive manufacturing and production concepts, cobots, co-working robots, the use of virtual reality, augmented reality in this field. Many things are taking place, a lot of them connected to automotive, not only automotive, but also automotive. A lot of demand is needed here, a lot of collaboration and business potential for you. Another area which is extremely important for us here in the federal state of Niedersachsen is agriculture, agritech, food industry. Our federal state is representing more than 30% of the German agritech and food industry business. It's connected to the fact that we are a large country, a large federal state with very fertile soils, where we have a lot of agriculture. But also based on that, a lot of animal breeding in all different areas, chicken, pigs, horses, and many others. And of course, based on that, a lot of food industry. And this is then bringing us to, again, production engineering solutions in that field, but also food logistics. Logistics, another important area here, industry for us. With Hannover, as we will see later for other reasons, is in Central Europe at the crossroads of the major traffic connections, and by that an important logistic hub in different areas. I will introduce to this later. Creative industries is supported by us at Hannoverimpuls a lot. We are very proud to be partner of Germany's largest network of creative industries. Creative industries is a term defined by the United Nations and means all those companies, all those businesses of people making money by being creative. Designers, architects, arts, literature, journalism, performing arts, theater, music business, of course, and many others. Creative industries is extremely important because creativity is the motor of innovation. We are connecting creative industries with the other industry sectors. We are allowing them to exchange ideas, to contribute to each other, and by that we are contributing here in Hannover to further innovations, and further innovations means further business opportunities. Another area which we are very proud to have a lot of players here is financial services and insurance. It's in different areas, a lot of health insurance companies, reinsurance companies, but also banks like Volkswagen Bank, not far away from Hannover. In that field, also a lot of digitalization is taking place. FinTech, those companies need collaboration partners in that field. Those companies have offers, again, business potential to you if you're active in that field, and those companies are open to talk to possible partners about those potentials. Industries in Hannover are innovative, are high-tech, are covering a lot of different industry sectors, and they are your entry point into the German market. We as Hannoverimpuls, We support as an economic development agency, we support the regional industries. We are setting up, we are supporting industry networks, we are supporting startup companies in that field. We have venture capital opportunities for such startup companies. And we have, with the team of internationalization, which I represent here, we have a team connecting those industries, those businesses internationally. And this means we are talking, we are coaching, we are consulting international companies on how to expand into that business, how to make the steps into the business, and how to choose Hannover as your starting point in the European market. Hannover, as mentioned, the federal capital of the federal state of Lower Saxony, is far above average when it comes to the GDP per capita, with around 40,000 euro. It's above the German average. It's reflect the high level of innovation taking place here and the high level of international acting companies being located here. We have a above German average purchasing power, which is also then interesting for companies who do this expansion steps into the German market to get connected, to introduce new products, to also private consumers. And another aspect, we are a nice state, we are a beautiful state, we have here a beautiful city. Hannover is the most green city in Germany. We have a lot of parks. We have a big forest, the world's largest forest within the city boundaries. And the Hannover people are people who are very happy to live here, who are very content. And again, the invitation, become a part of this family in a very livable city with a lot of business opportunities, and with us as Hannoverimpuls helping you to do the necessary steps. The city, with the surrounding towns and municipalities, has around 1.2 million people. That is probably not that much in your home country. For Germany, it's one of the largest cities, regions in Germany. But even more important here at this point is the catchment area. Within 500 kilometers, which can be done very easily in our region on a business day, you have a potential of 130 million people. Of course, not only Germany, also neighboring countries. I will show a map in the next slide. But 130 million people, this reflects the business potential offered here in Europe. And you can become part of this. Here again on a map, as mentioned, it's not only our industries, sectors here, our centers here with the industries, but also then the major industry centers, of course, in the Ruhrgebiet area, in the Berlin area, in the Frankfurt-Main area, but then also the Netherlands, Belgium, the eastern parts of France, the western parts of Poland. That can be all reached with very conveniently with one day. The reason for that, as mentioned, we are here the traditional logistic hub in Central Europe. The major Autobahnen are crossing from Scandinavia, the Autobahn number 7 from Scandinavia to southern Germany to the Mediterranean, and the Autobahn number 2 from France, Belgium, Netherlands to eastern Germany to Poland are crossing here in Hanover. And here again, this also is an indicator why Hanover is such an important logistic hub, as we are not only then connecting via street to all the major other centers in Central Europe, but we are also directly connected to the major ports in Europe, like Hamburg, like Rotterdam, Wilhelmshaven, and many others. Logistics is one of the most important factors here. When you are from that sector, Hanover offers for sure a potential to you. Comparable to that, not only street, it's also the train. With the high speed, with the largest numbers of high-speed train, express train connections here in Hanover, you reach the major business destinations in Germany extremely conveniently 2 hours to Frankfurt, 1.5 hours to Berlin, 1 hour to Hamburg, 4 hours to Munich. Can be done very easily, very conveniently. Hannover is your point to have the first headquarter to get connected to many other customers all over Germany. And not only Germany, but also in other countries with an airport with destinations to all major European destinations. Not only it's Central Europe can be reached, but also then all over Europe. And here also one important, coming back to logistics again, this airport here in Hannover is one of the few airports in Germany which is open 24/7. And this means for logistic companies again, when it comes about time critical deliveries, Hannover is your location with an airport which allows 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week logistics. This offers a lot of opportunities for you. This geographic position of Hannover was the reason why after the Second World War the British military government decided to have a trade fair taking place here, which allowed Germany to get reconnected to the international business after the Second World War. What started there in 1947, 2 years after the Second World War, became very quickly the world's largest trade fair facility, where we have not only the Hannover Fair, the world's largest industry trade fair, but also many other trade fairs, most of them or many of them connected to industry topics like metalworking, but also commercial vehicles. The International Automobile Exhibition for commercial vehicles is taking place here, but also then other areas like Agritechnica. The world's largest trade fair for agribusiness is taking place here in Hannover. For the Hannover Fair, the industry fair, we have around 6,500 exhibitors. In total, 10,000 of exhibitors coming to Hannover each year, millions of visitors coming to Hannover each year. And those are all your possible customers, your all possible clients. Being located here gives you an extremely convenient access to these people. The trade fairs had been interrupted due to Corona for 2 years. We are very happy that now, after an interruption of 2 years, the Hannover Trade Fair will take place starting May 30th to the 3rd of June. Finally, we have the big trade fairs again here. So this May, end of May, may be your starting point to be here in Hannover, to visit the world industries and get connected to them. Right now also, one of the trade fair halls is occupied not by exhibitors, but by refugees from Ukraine. And here again, this brings us back to our values. We do try to do at least a little bit to help to solve the ongoing problems. But together we will manage to do this with all the other partners we have in Europe. Yeah, coming to an end, I would like to invite you, again, I would like to invite you to come into the German market, to enter the German market, to choose Hannover as your starting point. We as Hannoverimpuls, together with our international partners, we are ready to talk to you. We would like to talk with you about your plans and how we could support those plans in order to be successful here. And by that, we invite you to become member of the Hannover family. And this is here our motto: welcome home. Hannover is your home. Hannover loves me. Hannover, of course, loves you. And therefore, yeah, come to Hannover and become a part of this family. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm looking forward to talking to you later on, probably during individual meetings. If not, if you're in Hannover, give us a call. If you're at the Hannover Fair, give us a call. We will be there as exhibitors, of course. So there are plenty of opportunities to meet. So far, again, thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.